Hurry up, 5 minutes. 5 minutos. Esta noche es muy caliente.
Hey, download your TikTok app today so you can have Chinese spyware in your house for free. You go down! Give me money!
Fucking future!
We're talking about a fat ass and everything, yeah.
No, I said loud ass. It's like I took a poop and it was one of those painful ones that brings a tear to your eye. Mute that. Son of a bitch. Okay. Yeah. It always starts with the Four Seasons. That's good. That's fine. Where's my book? Where's my fucking book? Can't do Books of Burden without a book. Yeah, sorry, I'm distracted by the Ghost of Tsushima. Here is book! Here is book! It's not the good book, but it's the slash book! Alright, so, there's that. You know what, I'm not even sure I'm going to finish that tonight. We should. There's only like... God, there's so little left to read. You know what? I'll worry about another book if it comes down to that. That's what I'll do. I'll get some water. Hey, buddy. Guten Abend. Ja, wie geht's, mein Freund? How are you doing today, my friend? Ooh, that's right. We got the stainless steel ball in there. Yeah, buddy. See, I just thought it was just a solid stainless steel ball bearing, but no, they got liquidy stuff in there. Hopefully that makes it cooler longer, but I don't know. I don't know nothing. Whew. I think we're gonna do the just bullet rye. Nothing fancy. Z, how formal of you. Am I? Nicht schlecht. Not bad, not bad. Rah, 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 rah. Rah, 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 rah. Thought I already answered you. Hey, Dan. Actually, I was at PetSmart the other day and heard an accent. And you know what? I'm sick and tired of assuming what people's accents are. So I asked her, like, where's the accent from? She's like, Germany. And she's like, oh, cool. And then I started spouting off with my limited German sprechen. There, look at that. Look at that sweet baby. It's like she's resting on the psycho veteran. Well, for you, but to be fair, you decide that that was your buffet night for drinks. Oh, that's Elijah Craig, not Bullet. What are you doing? Okay, well, we wet the stone with Elijah Craig. There's still a little. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just pour this Elijah Craig in there. Now, why would they go and say that you were stupid? Because you're a wage monkey? Or... Bist du doof? Bullet is nice, but apparently we're Elijah Craiging it because I just... Because... Brah, 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 brah. Oh... Are we going to finish tonight? I don't know. I hope so. I don't like the angle. There's way too much light shining everywhere, so I'm going to change this position with the camera. Oh, don't mind me. We're going through some growing pains right now. Double doggle cam! Row, 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 row. Guys, that's a pretty good dog. She aight. You guys weren't ready for double doggo, were you? So I finally updated my admin name on Discord. All the way across the sky? What's across the sky? Doggo? Germany? What? Is the music too loud? I feel like it's too loud. Boom. 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 We can't just straight up books and bourbon it without having a sip. Ooh. Ooh. Smells nice. I mean... My friend's autistic son came over to my apartment back in the day, and he was rendered speechless. The boy was just looking all around and all that shit, and you know. This comic book shop, though, looks like it's just as likely to sell you illegal fireworks as it is to give you hints on the newest Pokemon deck strategy. I don't know anything about the card game. Although I do have a couple cool cards. I don't think they're worth anything. I just like them. Oh. That whiskey's not as cool as I'd like it to be just yet. But we are working on it. We are working on it. And guys, if Rayray does tune in and say hi tonight, everybody wish her the happiest of birthdays. I've already dedicated the stream to her if she tunes in, but if she doesn't tune in, then oh well. Her loss. She can watch it on YouTube. Alright, pet the doggo. Oh, yes. Oh. Boop, 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 boop. Love them ears. Them pointy ears. See, I've always wanted a German Shepherd. I don't know if I told you guys the story. Maybe I will one day. Now's not the time to get into it. But she's got the pointy ears. So, you know. Never wanted a pity, though. But, you know. No drama? It's probably because you didn't open your mouth about your politics. Oh, no, it's definitely cute. Remember they were talking, when QAnon was talking about, oh yeah, we got prison ships just off ashore and there's going to be a lot of arrests when Trump gets reelected. I'm like, that sounds crazy. But okay, so Blue, you're in tune enough. Now, how egregious a thing would someone in politics have to make where there should be an immediate recall and or take them out of circulation? Like, I'm just wondering, because to me personally, the most egregious thing you can do is violate your oath of office, aka proposing and or signing off on unconstitutional laws, which would be anything, violating anything from 1 to 23. What are we up to? 24, 25, whatever. But basically the first 5 are major no-nos. Well, once again, if this were a fair and just world, if somebody violated, to me, they're violating their oath of office, especially, violating our constitutional rights, should be such an egregious thing that it should be tantamount to treason. I think they should be immediately up for arrest and investigation with jail time with no possibility for bail or ROR. But my thing is, who would be in charge of this arresting body? Like, would it be the National Guard? Would it be some type of MI unit? Or who would be in charge of that? Like, who would make that call? And who would be the big guy? The big guy ain't doing shit. He can just, 40% for the big guy. Whatever. Penis. I mean, in my heart of hearts, that would be just such a beautiful thing. Because people are like, oh, just remember this come election time. I'm like, people can't remember what they had for fucking breakfast. Nonetheless, what this guy's been doing for the last 4 fucking years, or in Biden's case, the last 50 plus fucking years. But, let's not worry about that. Man's never worked a fucking honest job in his entire goddamn life. That's besides the point. What were we talking about? We were reading about Slash. Oh. Wawa gawa. What? Well, that's why I'm saying, it doesn't matter how outraged people are when nothing happens and there's zero accountability unless you happen to have an R next to your name, which I'm pretty sure it stands for retard and not Republican at this point. And it's not so much because of what they believe in, it's what they won't stand up for, which is allegedly what they believe in. Oh, damn it. Dun, 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 dun. Can't listen to that one because reasons. CPA. Oh, speaking of CPA, we just watched. Well, I watched SEAL Team while somebody snoozed on the couch. I'm watching. I'm listening. Anyways, watch SEAL Team. It was fun. It was a fun little animated flick. I enjoyed it, and you'll just watching the trailers. I'm sure you'll recognize at least 1 or 2 of the voices. There's a lot of big names, and then there's a lot of nobodies. But it was a fun little animated feature. It was I want to say it was CG, but they took out a lot of frames, so it was a little bit clunky. Like it was more like a claymation. You were watching the back of your eye. Well, you got to check those for holes. It's very important. Especially at our tender age, because, air gets in there, or a lizard, and it's game over, man. Something, I don't know. Now wait and see it reach my age. Is that the Patreon? Oh, Canada's currently expanding the parameters for which you can request government-assisted suicide. Lord willing, maybe. Oh well, just like with Sealark, we gotta see each other one day. Alright? I'm in the prime of my life, grip like iron. 9 iron. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's what it is. You know what? I need me a little dippy poo to get me through this thing. I know dipping my mouth and trying to read is probably just counterintuitive. Counter-strike. Terrorist win. Seems like it. Seems like the terrorists are continuously winning. And then, of course, they're going to paint out the person who takes shit into their own hands as a crazy person. Look at that crazy person taking the law into their own hands. Don't they know that the law is supposed to handle that? But the law hasn't been doing its job. I mean, I was over at Cons today or the other day, and we were talking about how the police are doing their job. I'm like, the fuck you said? They're not doing their damn job. I didn't see a single one of them on insert name of street here. It's like if they know where the crime is mostly happening, but they're not there. You know, oh, well, they're racist if they go there. Well, then let them fucking be racist. I'm sick and tired of people young and old that had nothing to do with nothing getting shot the fuck up because of lack of a parental figure in their household. Male parental figure specifically. Not the point. The point is, I mean, according to the Supreme Court, cops are under no obligation to protect you or your property. So it's just like, well, if they don't have to protect us, then it's our job to protect us. But nobody's doing any protecting. They're just bitching and moaning about, you know, the tool and not the perpetrators wielding said tools. Oh, wow, that's way too political, way too early. Hold on. Penis. Where the fuck my skeezers go? Stop. Man, I will never hit 30.9 miles per gallon in my truck. Just starting it up, it's just like, oh, that thing got a Hemi in it? You damn well better believe it. Whew. I was looking at getting a 2500, but that thing already had 100,000 miles on it. I mean, if I thought my truck was bare bones work truck, this was definitely bare bones work truck, but 100,000 miles, that's a lot of fucking... I don't give a shit if it was a diesel. But I hesitate to think of how much more I'd be spending to fill up my tank with diesel. They're like, oh, it's great for highway and interstate. I'm like, yeah, but I barely drive highway and interstate. You know? What am I going to do? Oh, have another sip of whiskey. That's what I'm going to do. Where the fuck did everybody go? You guys were here just a second ago. Now everybody's gone? Oh, okay. You know, I understand that family comes from a place of concern, but okay. For my very intelligent viewers who are here, calling the cops is a bitch move, no matter what. Alright, now, I understand fear of loss of life or limb and or injury. Look, the only reason to call the cops is for a police record number for insurance purposes and to clean up the bodies. They serve no other purpose, in my personal opinion. Yeah, disagree. Red flag laws are unconstitutional, first and foremost. You don't get to be tried and punished and have your personal property confiscated from you because somebody doesn't like your opinion. Like, one of the first people to get hit with red flag laws was a psychiatrist. He actually called a red flag law on one of his patients for leaving a bad Yelp review. And I wish I was joking about that shit, but like, dude, that is the most bitch, petty move I can fucking think of. Now, my inner child is laughing, but my patriotic, red-blooded American self is like, what a fucking piece of shit. They're like, well, you know, you can't yell fire in a theater. Free speech is an absolute. I'm like, yeah, that's a call to action. That's totally different from I don't know, I own this rock, and it's locked up in a fucking safe at your request by law. This rock isn't going anywhere or doing anything. It's just a rock. Right? Now, I can make like Cain and delete Abel with said rock, but, you know, it's not the tool. It's the heart. It's the person with the tool. You know, when does the liability fall upon the person? Oh, if he's white and Republican. All right, that's right. Then they're responsible, but everybody else, no. You can't vote out Bolsonaro. What? Oh. Besides, isn't the current party, like, totally goose-stepping towards de-weaponization and starvation and ideological political re-education camps? Doesn't fucking matter. Oh. All I know about Brazil is their food's alright, they like to fucking party, and they like to rob, and I refuse to believe that Portuguese is a romantic language. It's about as romantic as Russian or German. And to me, Portuguese sounds like Italian, Spanish, Russian, and German and had a fucking baby. And it's somewhat retarded. Rayray, happy birthday! What do you mean a permit for an AR? What? Huh? You had a permit for a fucking AR? Oh. Ah, obrigado. Vence. Birimbau. What a fucking shit language. Look, I can only think of... Well, I don't like any of the Pacific Islander languages. Like, I don't even consider them Asian, you know. Thai, Vietnamese, Cambodia. I think that's all guttural fucking gibberish too. You know, to me, there's three Asians. There's Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Everything else is just mudblood Asian. No good, no good. That's personal opinion. Since I'm half Korean, I can have that opinion. I figure Koreans, you know, we all got a touch of Chinese and Japanese in us somewhere. From hundreds of years of invasions from either side. They just took turns. Basically, they did an Eiffel Tower on Korea. They're like, oh, we're going to fuck you now. Okay, now we fuck you now. It was terrible. Because Korea is just in one of those fucking spots. It's a peninsula right between two fucking warring bastard nations. And has Korea ever invaded anybody else? I don't think so. Brazil, South Mexico. I mean, is Brazil having the same issue with the cartels as Mexico is? Holy fuck. I mean, Mexico, I think we should just annex Mexico and stomp this drug thing. But we got too many fucking addicts that are in high positions of power. Oh, thanks for the biddies. Woo! 10? Fuck yeah. I'll try not to spend it all in one place, buddy. Oh. Am I ever going to get to reading a book? Maybe. Shit, I wish Ray our birthday, and she's all like, meh. Alright, cool. Hopefully you're having a good birthday day. And if you're not, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not my fault. I mean, it better not be. I barely done seen you this last 2 days. Headache. Sorry. Should I speak softer? You know I can't do that. I don't know who David Foster Wallace is, so no. Too much packing. You got 30 minutes to go dress shopping. Man, dog, you're really good at laying down. Holy shit. I ain't never seen a dog as good at laying down as you. David Foster Wallace, send me a message. I want to find that one book. That's probably not that one. It's fine. I want to read that one book written by the now deceased author, that female that cosplayed as a dude for a couple years or whatever to write her book to show that, it's so much easier being a man. And turns out it was so easy being a man that she ended up deleting herself. She published her book, but she fell into a deep depression after that. And if I can finish that book, I get a cookie. Okay, so the question is the book fiction or is it non-fiction? Because I'm not a fan of fiction personally. I will consume it in movie or video game form, but I'm not a fan of reading about it. I'm a fan of non-fiction. Personally, I personally prefer true crime and biographies and stuff like that. Those are my personal go-tos because I think reality is plenty disturbing without introducing spooky tits or whatever. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. Shit, I need to link my Amazon shit so you guys can make like little donations to that instead of to my Twitch because I lose about 40% of everything that comes here. So, I'm not complaining. Something's better than nothing, but remember when Amazon just did books? Those are the days. Am I... Well, what? Because a lot of women are into serial killers and shit? I mean, maybe I am a Karen at heart. I like to smell like a pretty princess. So, who knows? Maybe I'm a fucking Karen. I don't give a shit. I like what I like. I like white women. Now what? I got a white truck and a mostly white dog. I'm pretending to be P. Diddy at one of his white parties. That's the sign of success. If you're a rapper, the sign that you're successful is having lots of things that are white. No. Never. I've never... Okay, so I've worked... I've been on both sides. I've been customer and I've done retail and I've done food. And they are some of the worst experiences on both sides. I don't want anybody to ever lose their job because I had a problem with an employee. At the same time, there's some employees that is just like, dude, I don't know how you fucking damn did not get murdered in grade school because of your hilarious takes on everything and your fucking mouth. Look, just to paraphrase Mike Tyson, just people aren't afraid of getting punched in the fucking mouth. That's, I think, in a nutshell, that's the biggest fucking problem we have in the world today, at least in America. People aren't afraid of getting punched in the mouth. They're super fucking brave, and they got balls the size of grapefruits talking shit on the fucking internet. And I'm not brave, and I'm not bad, but at the same time, if it's my time, it's my time, but I don't think I'm going to take it laying down. I ain't that kind of slut. Yeah, I won't get someone in trouble. I'm not that kind of Karen if I am. Oh, COVID and horse paste. Oh, can we not say ivermectin? Oh. I personally just don't go back to the establishment where I had the shitty service. Hey, what up, Wingy? Alright, am I going to get to this book? I don't know. I'm kind of having a hoot here saying that I might be a Karen, I might not be. I don't know. Wings, you don't know me that well, but would I strike you as a Karen at heart? I want to hear your take on this. Like, when's the last time? Well, if I had it, I didn't show any. I was asymptomatic because, I was able to smell shit the whole time the whole fiasco was going down. At no point did I lose my sense of smell or get hit with the extreme coughs or whatever, so I still wouldn't have gone to the fucking hospital. Like, I'm one of those dudes, like, I'll break my arm and be back at work the same fucking day. Like, yeah, it's fine. I just can't put too much weight in my hand. Mills. I've never seen somebody abbreviate it like that. No. Do I strike you as a Karen at heart? That was the question. Because that's Blue's. Blue said that I'm probably a Karen at heart. When was the last time you asked to see somebody's manager? I'm like, I never. Look, if I keep on drinking whiskey like this is gonna be like an hour straight. Okay, so. Do I? No, I do not have the Karen haircut. You get the fuck out of here, guy. I don't know. I think Blue's been getting into the corn squeezins a little bit tonight. He's in his $5 whiskey, so, you know. Blue figured since he gave me 10 bits, he can talk any shit he wants. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, 10 bits, if it were a tip, like, I hope the total wasn't more than a quarter. Oh, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with $5 whiskey. I get it. You bought a car that's nobody's using. Well, I mean, you're using it, so that's good. Suck it. Look, just because I like to smell pretty does not mean I'm going to put just anything in my mouth. Tobacco or a titty, maybe, but I ain't putting no pee-pee in my mouth. At least not a man pee-pee. Ugh. Grody. Fuck. He just totally derailed. Fucker. Have you seen my Jesus mug? You've seen it. You see my Jesus mug. No. Jesus loves you, but I don't. Go fuck yourself. Oh, yeah. It's the most blasphemous thing I've ever owned. Yeah, you know, that's what I told the cops. I was like, I've only had 14 rum and cokes. I'm fine. But they weren't having it. Like, sir, step out of the vehicle. God dang it. Alright, fine. Shut the fuck up and don't comply. I mean, comply like if there's orders, but, you know, just run a live stream on them. And comply within reason. Know your rights. Know a number for a lawyer. Because you damn sure ain't going to do it while you're in lockup. Complying is un-American. But that doesn't mean fight. Don't physically resist. I mean, I could use a nice paycheck from the fucking city and or county or state. You know, it's just like, well, these guys stomped all over my constitutional rights and egregiously abused their power. I'm going to enjoy paying off my house with fucking cash. I mean, I don't want it to come to that. I don't want somebody to lose their job because they're a dickhead who's having a bad day and don't understand the law well enough to be enforcing it. But, you know, that's a position of power and trust. You know, we entrust them to, you know, I don't know, protect and serve, but they do neither. I thought you... No, we don't do that. And you stop drinking that commie Jack Daniels anyways. Now, if you're getting to the bottom of a bottle, I don't blame you for not wasting it. But, you know, their political stances lately have been a bit cringeworthy, near Target level. Oh, yeah. Jack Daniels is trash brand as far as I'm concerned. I will never spend my own money on Jack Daniels ever again. They're right up there with Starbucks and Target on some of their fucking policies. So, yeah. It's, Lynchburg, Tennessee can suck it. Chicken cock, my friend. Chicken cock. Look, it's $60 for a fifth, but I'm telling you, once you have that, you're like, Jack who? Exactly. And it's funny to say, shit's fucking delicious. Now that's on the pricier end. You can still do bullet as far as I'm concerned. Bullet, chicken cock, water. Ew. Water, never touch the stuff. Fish fucking it. Anyways. We're not having water. Yeah, you have water as a chaser. That's fine. Fish fucking it. Anyways. Alright, what about water? We don't drink that stuff. Gross. So I got clean and I was inspired by Perla. From the second she knew she was pregnant to the day she had the baby, she didn't touch a drink. Oh my God. And quit smoking on the spot. She underwent such a huge, abrupt switch. The maternal instinct took over immediately, and it was amazing. That's really nice of her. I don't think my mom even quit smoking while she was pregnant with me, but it was a different time. Jimmy Carter was in office, and shut up. Perla had some complications with the pregnancy. London was a breech baby, which means that he was sitting in such a way that it was very uncomfortable and painful for her most of the 9 months. She had to remain on bed rest for most of her term. That's a long ass time to be bedridden. Fuck. During those months, I started looking to put a new band together. Pete Angelus, who had managed Van Halen, David Lee Roth, and the Black Crowes, had taken an interest in managing me, so he hooked me up with... Well, thanks for the sub, Wings. Appreciate ya. I'm really hoping that was a Prime sub, but if not, really appreciate it. But I appreciate Prime subs too. I'm not complaining. If you do have Prime, just to let you know, it's free to sub to my channel. Just you got to link it with your Twitch account, but I appreciate the sub either way. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot. Especially since I know you guys. Anonymous gifter? Oh, I wonder who that could have been, Blue. Look at Blue. He's just spreading the cheddar. Alright, keep on drinking that Jack Daniels, buddy. Well, you know what? I don't think I don't know if Bailey would be okay with using his Prime for something that costs him, $17 a month for me to get a free sub. Oh. Who knows? Doesn't hurt to ask. Or, you can do it the way the Bible intended. You can steal the bike and ask for forgiveness later. You can't pray for a bicycle. You can pray for forgiveness for stealing a bicycle. The Lord works in mysterious ways. No, don't do that. Don't listen. You'll go to jail taking this advice. Don't do it. Well, okay, so when a month from now, when you're up for a resub, then you can do the Oh shit, Blue, did I make you a mod? Fuck. I must have been drinking that night. During those months, I started looking to put a new band together. Yeah, okay, we already read that. So he hooked me up with Steve Gorman, the then former drummer for the Black Crowes, who was available because at that point they'd broken up. My old buddy Alan Niven. He's been drinking, don't mind him. Gave me the number of a bass player that he thought I should hear, so we brought him in. And I just can't remember his name. But the three of us started rehearsing, just jamming with no real agenda. I was on the straight and narrow, not even really drinking. Not really even drinking. It was the first time since before the final months of Snake Pit that I'd gotten myself back into gear. I was in a better headspace than ever. I started thinking about a band again, and I started writing material. During that time, I came up with the music that evolved into writing material. During that time, I came up with the music that evolved into the full song Fall to Pieces. We jammed for a very short period of time, but I came up with a lot of ideas, the most complete one being that song. Oh, I'm reading Slash. Slash with Anthony Baza. So this is Slash's words I'm reading here. So I don't have a top hat to complete the whole Slash thing, but we've been reading this book for a long ass time. We stopped for the serial killer stuff. No, we stopped for the Elvira book. But it was really, really weird to be reading the experiences of an underage girl's hookups with Tom Jones and other celebrities of the 60s and early 70s. It was bizarre. So I didn't feel comfortable reading it, at least out loud to an audience, because I'm reading as Sandra Peterson, aka the Mistress of the Dark Elvira. It was weird, but it's definitely an interesting read, and I'll get back to that book and finish it. But that's going to be on me time, and I don't know. Doing passive entertainment for me, such as movies or books, is really difficult without me fiddling with my phone or drinking. So I'll get to it one day, just like I'll finish working and building and yeah, right. Shut up. It was around this time that I heard Randy Castillo had died. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't even get that far. Those are the first signs of me taking any kind of a responsible adult role in my life, because if there is one thing I am, it's the eternal teenager. Ooh, me too. So I guess in that respect, me and Slasher, But I still say that I have the emotional maturity of a 5-day-old avocado. It was around this time that I heard Randy Castillo had died. I'd known Randy for years. We'd met in the metal touring circuit of the 80s. He was one of the most in-demand session and touring drummers around. He played with Ozzy, Lita Ford, and everyone else you can think of. But Randy was as far from the typical LA metal musician as could be. He was one of the most genuine, down-to-earth, and easygoing people I met during the entire period. He was always fun to hang out with, and just no bullshit. He was totally self-abusive with booze and coke, but was always a great drummer with a heart of gold. I don't remember exactly how we met, but we had mutual friends, and in my mind, it felt like I'd always known Randy. What set him apart from everyone else in LA was that he was always happy and never judgmental of anybody. Unlike most of the other characters around back then, he was never preoccupied with talking shit about other people or spending the night critiquing how other people looked or acted. That kind of conversation is such an LA staple. Randy didn't care, maybe because he was from New Mexico originally. Oh my God, me and Randy could not be any more opposite. But don't worry, kids. I will never talk any shit behind your back that I wouldn't say to your face, normally speaking. Love you guys. Because you guys are the smartest, most intelligent, beautiful people on the face of the planet. Because, I think all of you are subbed to me and you watch this channel, which I appreciate very much. Spread the word. We're going to take over one viewer at a time. Like I said, my personal goal is 500 subs. I think I can make some things happen with 500 subs. That little extra injection of income would be super duper doper. Super duper dope? I know, right, dog? Dog sighing over here. Sigh. I played New Mexico with Snake Pit, and by then I'd heard that Randy had cancer and that it was very serious. When we came through, he came down to the show and hung out with us on the bus. At the time, he was undergoing chemotherapy, and he didn't look good at all. He was very thin and weak, but I was just so happy that he'd even come down. A short while later, I heard that his cancer had all but disappeared and that he was doing much better. And not long after that, I saw him, and he was a different guy altogether. He looked great. When I got the call, maybe 5 months after that, Randy had died. I was shocked. I hadn't even known that he'd taken a major downturn. It happened that fast. Jesus. The longest thing you will ever do in your life is be alive. That's the longest thing you will ever do. The funeral was at Forest Lawn Cemetery, and everyone Randy had ever known was there. All his old musician friends from all of the bands he'd been in, including Ozzy, Randy's extended family, and all of his friends who loved him. It was a huge gathering. At the reception, I ran into Matt Sorum, who told me that he and some others were setting up a fundraiser for Randy's family and organizing a benefit gig to raise money and commemorate him. Matt asked me if I wanted to play at the gig, and I thought it was a great idea. Any excuse to play guitar on stage is all I need. Besides, I wanted to do it for Randy. Matt and I decided that we'd do a set together, and we agreed to call Duff, who'd moved back to Seattle, to ask him if he was interested. He'd formed a band called Neurotic Outsiders with Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, and they'd just put out a record and done a tour. Then they disbanded. Duff had put another band together with some friends from Seattle called Loaded. I'd run into him a few times in the past year. He'd come down for my birthday, and we jammed with Izzy in the studio one time, so we're definitely on speaking terms and in contact. We needed a singer, as usual, and we needed a rhythm guitar player. I had my eye on Josh Todd and Keith Nelson from Buckcherry. I'd heard that their band had broken up, so that was an option. I liked Josh's voice on some of the stuff of theirs that I'd heard, and this seemed like a good opportunity to try him out. We wanted to make this thing something special, so Matt called Be Real and Sendog from Cypress Hill to see if they'd be willing to come down and do a song or something with us. They were in, so we all showed up to rehearse, and it was a really landmark afternoon. When we walked in over at Mates, there was a tangible vibe. Being in a room again with Matt and Duff instantly took me back to the chemistry we'd shared on stage every night with Guns. We got up together while the guys watched, and the moment we hit the first chord, there was a confidence and musical camaraderie that spoke for itself. And it said, "This is how it's done, boys." This is how it's done, boys. What I mean, you know, their Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 tour, that shit went on for like 5 years. I mean, can you imagine being on the road for 5 fucking years? That's ridiculous. Anyways, penis. We rehearsed Paradise City, It's So Easy, Mama Kin, Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak, Rock and Roll Superstar, and the Sex Pistols' Bodies. Be Real and Sendog came up and rapped the verses of Paradise City. It was fucking great. For the first time since Snake Pit, I felt fulfilled musically. I was surrounded by musicians who really knew how to hold down a mean groove and put forth an even meaner delivery. The core of Matt, Duff, and I was undeniable. When we started jamming, people who were rehearsing or working at Mates that day began wandering in to watch and listen. Soon we had a small audience and we plastered them to the wall. I don't know what that means, but sexy? Randy's tribute was at the Key Club on April 29, 2002. It was the first time that many members of Guns had played together in years. We went on last and we just slammed the place. Steve and Tyler came up and did Mama Kin with us. All in all, it was a momentous evening. I was elated. I was home with Perla the next day when Duff called. "Hey man," he said, "that was great last night. Like, really great." "Yeah, it was," I said. "I've been thinking about it all morning." What I'd been thinking was that I'd been wasting time. I'd been tinkering around with other musicians, talented guys, sure, but none of them were right for me. Excuse me. I'd been looking for something when what I was after had been right in front of me the whole time. Aww, ooh. "Duff, we should do something with this," I said. We would be stupid not to. Fuck all of the obvious Guns N' Roses connotations. "Alright, okay," he said, "let's do it." Duff and I had never said it, but the two of us had been so consciously avoiding working with each other. We didn't want to be pigeonholed, we didn't want to be labeled, we didn't want to resign ourselves to the compartment we'd been relegated to. An ex-Guns side project. At this point, enough time had gone by, and even if it hadn't, we'd experienced enough energy playing together again to know what we could get beyond that we could get beyond any bullshit expectation that might be dumped on us. Like, dude, I would absolutely love it if we could find an Axel S singer and Slash and the rest of the crew, minus Axel, could, just make a Guns do, Slash, are you listening? But I think that time has come and gone. I don't think the kids could listen to a modern Guns N' Roses, although technically Axl and Buckethead was Guns N' Roses because he had the legal rights, but minus like 2 songs, it hasn't been good. And one of them being a cover song, well, shit. Oh. Matt was into, and since Josh and Keith were interested in going for it, we started getting together a few days a week at their rehearsal space in North Hollywood. I wasn't sure about them because I didn't know them, but I was willing to give it a shot. Just give it a shot. Come on, give it a go. It's fine. Keith and Josh brought in a couple of good songs that we worked on, and Duff and I started making things up on the spot, just as naturally as we always did. The one thing I didn't like about the space was that I couldn't hear Josh singing at all. I was worried. It started to worry me that after a few weeks, as we got more and more involved, I still had no idea that what the whole band sounded like. I started making board tapes, and boy was I surprised. When I played them back, I was shocked. Josh's voice was just too linear and grating. It was a distraction from the music, not to mention just a tad off key. Damn it, Josh! I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I was willing to quit the band prematurely because of that. I assumed that Duff and Matt had been listening to the same tapes of our sessions that I had, and it's my fault that I presumed that since no one was objecting to what we were doing, they were all fine with it. I can't do this anymore, I told Duff and Matt after rehearsal one day. I'm done. Hey, what are you talking about, Duff asked. What's wrong, Matt asked. Have you listened to these sessions we've been doing? No, they both said. Well, you should. That night, they did, and the next day, they were all on the same page. Josh's voice is perfect for Buckcherry, but it wasn't musical enough for what we had in mind. I'm happy to say that Buckcherry has gotten back together, and their big single in 2006, Crazy Bitch, was one of the tracks we were working on during that period. Gasp! I don't know. I'm not a fan of Buckcherry, and Crazy Bitch is an alright song. I don't know. The fuck do I know? So for those of you that are still here, a comment or a refresh would be really appreciated. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. Ooh. That's some more. Okay, I got plenty left. You don't need to drink it all. Nobody's gonna take it from you. Don't take my whiskey. Would you guys just look at this dog? She's not moved a muscle. Pet, 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 pet. Not an inch. We let Josh know that we didn't want to continue with him, and it was all very amicable, but we weren't quite sure how to handle it when Keith told us that he intended to keep working with us. Those two were writing partners, they were friends, and they were bandmates. We'd always thought of them as a package deal and assumed that Keith wouldn't split when Josh did. Fuck that, he said. I like what we're doing here. I'm staying. Nice one, Keith. There was only one problem. Generally, Keith just played whatever I played at the same time. There was no interplay, and he had no sense of complimenting what I played. So the sound we got with Keith was basically 2 Les Pauls playing identical licks. He hung around for 2 more weeks. We thought that he might get the hint, but he didn't, so we had to let him go. Again, I was happy to hear it when those guys reformed Buckcherry. Matt and Duff and I started rehearsing and writing like crazy. I had my eyes and ears open for another guitar player and a singer. I had gone with Josh Todd to see Duff play with Loaded one night as part of Metal Shop. this weekly glam metal review at the Viper Room. I went in through the back door, and it was as if I'd stepped into 1984. I saw people I hadn't seen since then, and they looked exactly the same. I saw the girls and guys from different spots. The Troubadour, the Whiskey, the Rainbow, looking the way they did 20 years ago. There are a few guys from Faster Pussycat, LA Guns, and all the same chicks I knew from back then, as if they'd been caught in a time warp. Everyone with the same clothes on, the same makeup on, seemingly doing the same shit, and of course, Gene Simmons was there having his picture taken with a crowd of girls. To top it all off, Ron Jeremy was there with a few porn chicks. Dude, have you guys ever been in public and seen a lady or a dude that was dressed up like from their teenage heyday, and like you can tell that this is how they dress every fucking day, like, you know, older guy with a mullet and a sleeveless denim shirt. You know, it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Or a lady with the aqua netted giant bangs and all this shit. Like, oh my god, you know, I understand certain looks are timeless, but most of the fashion trends from the 80s should have stayed there. Most of them. I can't name very many 80s looks that you know. No, I can't name one. Scarves, maybe? Fuck if I know. But then you look like an old gypsy like Johnny Depp. Don't look like an old gypsy like Johnny Depp. Duff had told me about the show earlier that day. Hey man, he said, so the guy playing guitar in my band has alleged that he is like one of your best friends from junior high. Oh yeah? I had no idea who he might be. Yeah, really, he said. His name is Dave Kushner. He swears up and down that you were best buds. I just want to let you know he's in my band. It was true. Dave and I were buddies in junior high and high school. He used to come to my Titus Sloan shows before he even picked up a guitar. Dave is a super cool guy, and I always thought the best of him all these years. The last time I saw him, he was touring at Tower Videos when Guns N' Roses was just taking off. At the time, he had a pretty serious drinking habit going. He worked in the basement between the music and video shops, boxing and unloading the product. Just drinking hard down there, apparently. He'd gotten it together. However, by that time, he was 15 years sober. I was kind of curious to see him again. The overwhelming 80s vibe at Metal Shop got to me pretty quick that night. But I got the chance to say hello to Dave before I left. It was really good to see him. After Keith left, Duff suggested that Dave come down to jam, and I was all for it. We clicked instantly. Dave brought a cool vibe to what we were doing. There was no deliberation. That was it. It was a perfect fit. He brought a new dimension to the sound of the band as it was, and an interesting guitar style that complemented mine as did his. The lineup was now Duff, Matt, Dave, and me, and the music was coming very naturally. We just had that age-old nagging problem. No singer. Is it the story of my life? What? It is the story of my life, isn't it? I mean, even when you're in Guns, having a singer was at best. Axl deciding not to show up because of whatever fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs reason he had. For a group of seasoned professional musicians, you'd think that we'd have a clue of how to find a singer. No chance. We'd looked at one another with no idea of the proper process for a group like ours to find one. Should we put an ad in the recycler? He asked at rehearsal one day. Man, I don't know, Duff said. I guess so. We don't know any singers. This feels like the time we first hooked up, I said, when Steve and I first met you and we had a band. We wrote some great shit, but finding a singer was just impossible. It's impossible. I mean, I will sing for you, Slash. I mean, I'll sit on a stool. I have no stage presence, but, you know, I'll do it. I'm not a good singer. I'm an okay singer. I'll do what I can. You're right, we're at square one, Duff said. That's pretty sad, man. What the fuck? I guess we should put an ad in the paper. Before we did that, we thought it would be a good idea to make a list of every good living rock singer, regardless of whether they were in a band or not. Our list was pretty short. Among others, there was Sebastian Bach, Ian Astbury, and Steve Jones. There was one other name that everyone in the band seemed keen on, Scott Weiland. But as far as we knew, he was still in Stone Temple Pilots. Rest in peace, Scott. Remember when he was on the run from the cops and the guys in 98 Rock were talking shit on him? It was like, he's probably at a dumpster behind Burger King smoking crack. And that was probably accurate, but I think that's what made it so funny. Anyways. Some of my best times ever were smoking crack with Scott Whalen in a dumpster behind Burger King. Or behind a dumpster behind Burger King. Or whatever. In, behind. Yeah, right. For any of you who are familiar with my sense of smell, you know that just it's not my idea of a good time. As we made our list and realized that almost everyone on it was otherwise accounted for, we did put an ad in Recycler as well as a Music Connection. We went so far as to place an ad in the Hollywood Reporter. But the most significant thing we did was put a blurb on MTV.com. We never could have done that in the old days, and perhaps I was naive about the impact that it would have. I soon learned my lesson. That one blurb set off a barrage of CD and cassette tape demos sent our way. They arrived on a daily basis as our little beginning of a band became public knowledge. Could you imagine that? Just getting like 20, 30, 40, 150, 1,000 tapes and or cassettes and or CDs every day? Like, Jesus. Like, okay. I mean, they weren't exhausted for choice. Well, they were exhausted because of choice, but whatever. Our project started being reported on the radio, blogged on about the internet. All of a sudden, we generated a lot of attention just by trying to find ourselves a singer relatively on the down low. What do you mean on the down low? You fucking advertised it. Oh, you know what? We will blame that on a lifetime of drinking and drugs. We began receiving 200 submissions a week from all around the world. All of them pouring into my P.O. box. I'd show up to collect these huge boxes of shit, and the guys at the mailbox place who'd watched this band from that phase on out have given me the knowing wink ever since. Right? Yeah. I got a random call one day. Hello? Hey, what are you doing? It's Izzy. Hey, man, I'm good, I said. I'm actually going to rehearsal. I've been working with Duff and Matt and this guy, Dave. We've got something really good going. Hey, cool, I'll come down. It was classic Izzy. He's so elusive. He'll pop up somewhere out of the blue, hang out intensely, and then disappear for a couple months. He came down to the studio with his guitar and amp, and he brought a couple of demos. We jammed with him for 2 weeks, and it was great. We wrote about 12 songs. That would have been the best Guns N' Roses record, hands down. Some bold words right there, Slash. We talked about the old days. We shared war stories. We laughed a lot. And we had a really good time. At the same time, we continued the quest for a singer, which didn't interest Izzy one bit. Whenever we brought it up, he wanted nothing to do with the conversation in any way. He wanted to distance himself as much as possible. He didn't actually want to be in the band. If that's what we intended, he just wanted to hang out. Discussing where to find a lead singer was too much for him. He was, in general, very anti-lead singer. I can't imagine why. Probably because you were contractually fired because of your smack habit. Anyways. The singer had been a problem for me in every band I'd ever joined, and I couldn't believe that after all this time, it plagued me still. I've got an idea, as he said at rehearsal one day. Know what we should do? Duff and I will sing, and we will just do a club tour in a van. He said it in Izzy's way, which means it was hard to tell if he was serious or kidding. You never know. I was dead set on finding a solid frontman regardless. because I was taking this project very seriously. I was getting sick of the fact that we weren't getting out of there and playing. I wasn't going to let this situation go until it came to fruition. But I have to admit, I contemplated that idea for a minute. A minute. Can't believe you said I had Karen hair, Blue. Karen hair? Are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. Ain't no Karen with this hairdo. This ain't a Karen hairdo. You son of a bitch. Oh, I don't know your mom. I shouldn't have brought her into this conversation. No big stretch. No, that was a little stretch. It was cute. Did you guys catch the stretch? Hope you did. We called legendary A&R man John Kolodner to ask for his advice as far as singers went. John came down to see us rehearse, and he thought that we were the best thing since sliced bread. But he told us that he didn't know any good singers who were available. You know that expression, best thing since sliced bread. Prior to that, you'd buy a loaf of bread, you'd have to cut it yourself once you got home. Like, was that really such a mind-blowing thing for some of us, our great-grandparents? For me, probably my grandparents. You know, like, really? How hard was it to slice bread back then? It's too much. Too. Okay, whatever. Just a thought. Food for thought. I just don't know how the expression came about, you know. Selling faster than hotcakes. Like, hotcakes are pancakes. Really? Pancakes are selling that well? I mean, I guess they sell okay, but why isn't everybody selling hotcakes if they sell so well? Anyways, these turn of phrase, they sometimes got me a thinking when they really shouldn't. It's just like, don't worry about it. It's just something people say. Fuck it. Forget about it. Izzy suggested that we go track a few of the songs we had worked out at Rumbo, which we did. At the time, I wondered what Izzy was thinking. In my mind, what we were doing with him was just fucking around and having a good time, with no expectation of where it was going. At the same time, I was intent on pursuing this, as was Duff and Matt. So I wasn't sure why Izzy would want to take it to the next level by suggesting the studio. In any case, the songs we did together were great, and I wasn't going to put an end to that. The three of us had also been listening to the demos that were trailing in. We'd found one that we were curious about, this guy named Kelly from Florida. We flew him out to try a vocal track or two, and as soon as he showed up in the studio, Izzy ducked out. There weren't any hard feelings or anything. He just had to go and said his goodbyes. Okay. I wouldn't mind reading the Duff autobiography, but I don't know. I feel like we're going to cross a lot of the same bridges, just from a slightly different perspective. And that'll probably be a personal read if I ever get around to it. That singer Kelly didn't work out, but he was a step in the right direction. Still, months went by without us getting any closer to finding the right match. I hope to find a diamond in the rough, some unknown talent out there. I told Gilby, who at the time was hanging out at Mates every day because he was producing a band called The Bronx. He thought we were crazy. Probably so. You're never going to find a singer, he said, smirking. With the level you're at, you just can't do that. You can't just look for raw talent. That's nowhere near your level. There's only so many singers around who are even worth considering, and we know all of them. What a bastard. Why would you say something like this? Give the little guy a chance. I wasn't going to be discouraged. I persevered. We had endless tapes coming in, and there had to be something of value in there, or so I thought. We rehearsed 5 days a week. 3 hours were spent writing, and the last 2 every day were spent listening to the mountain of tapes that came in. We listened to all of them. That is really nice. That wasn't, but, dog, whatever. It was grueling. More than that, it was discouraging. I'm amazed that we actually stuck it out as a band at all. We held it together for 10 months doing that. I'm not sure that I can explain how bleak it got. That is, after all, why we listened to those tapes after we rehearsed. Usually they were so bad that we need to sleep it off just to be able to start fresh again the next day. Well, like I said, I'm not much of a singer. I do sometimes enjoy doing it, and waffles. How many more pages in this fuck-ass chapter? Jiminy Christmas. No. I think I might just finish these 2 pages and call it, because, we've lost everybody, and nobody's chatting, and it's fine. It's fine. Most of them were so bad that we assumed they were taking the piss, but we were never quite sure. Too many were like some guy in Wyoming who lived in a garage sending us his very best imitation of guns. There are too many tapes by singers who just love guns to an unhealthy degree. I wanted to ask a lot of them if they'd actually listened to what they had sent us, or at least played it for someone else before they sent it, and if they had, what the person thought of it. Well, lady, it's just you and me at this point, so like I said, I got another page to read, and I'm just going to call it. There were endless examples of guys doing really bad versions of Welcome to the Jungle. There were too many people who considered themselves poets, submitting dramatic lyrics on a variety of subjects. We got folk singers, we got thrash metal singers, we got people who sent us recordings that were so poor that I swear to God they must have recorded them on the mic in their boombox. I mean, that's probably the case, because, you think this is like the late 90s, early aughts, decent microphones and shit were fucking pricey as shit. Now that we got these condenser mics that you get pretty high quality, you can get a really decent mic for about $200. It's not a great mic, but then again, you have to also not suck at singing and know how to work your levels, but that's besides the point. I was driving through North Hollywood one day thinking about how strange this process was. At the same time, I thought it should be documented, because I knew that it was going somewhere. I thought that I should talk to my friend Eric Luftglass, a producer at VH1, about it, but literally before that thought got more mature, he called me. Well, shit. Thanks a lot, Eric. Hey, /Eric Luftglass. I hear that you and Duff and Matt are putting together a band and looking for a singer, he said. Yeah, do you know anyone, I said. That's funny. No, but I wanted you to know that if you'd be interested in having us document your search for a VH1 special, it would be a great launch pad for the band. Hey, do you guys have a name? No, we haven't gotten there yet. We're still stuck on the singer part. But wait, I swear I was just thinking that I should call you and let you know about all of this. Eric sent a pair of camera guys down to mates, and we weren't sure about how it would work. We decided to reserve judgment until we met them. They were both named Alex, and they'd recently shot the Aerosmith episode of Behind the Music, which I'd enjoyed. We started hanging out with them, and it was cool. They started to get casual behind-the-scenes footage of us. We'd gotten some interesting demos, and that were pretty good. Most of them were done with talented singers who were just not the right style that we were looking for, but they were good nonetheless. I estimate that one of every 200 demos we listened to was someone that intrigued us enough to have them come into the studio. One of those was this guy named Steve from England, who was pretty good. He was a band called Little Hell, but I might be wrong about that. His band was almost punk rock with lots of attitude and sarcasm in the lyrics. We had him come out and he ended up on our VH1 special, but nothing happened as far as his joining the band. By this time, about 8 months had gone by since we decided to do this thing, and we were starting to get weathered. It didn't help much when some bigwig at VH1 who had seen the footage of our show came down to the studio to tell us to turn up the drama. The reality of us behind the scenes apparently wasn't cutting it, so we fought the producers from that point on. In the end, the footage they captured of a few of the singers made us look way more dramatic than it actually was. Unfortunately, our time with Sebastian Bach became the main theme of that program. Well, with that said and done, thanks everybody for tuning in, and if you just now got on, I apologize, but this is supposed to be one of my more popular nights, and it's not. But that's fine. I love you guys nonetheless. I will be doing Bobby Ross Wednesday tomorrow. I'll be doing more poster board cutting and wanted poster mounting. In the meantime, I'll be on around 8:30, 9 o'clock Central. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you guys later, and have a great rest of your night. Happy birthday, Ray. I'm going out for a cigarette. Want to see you in a sec. Okay, bye.